Last week in Girl World, Foodie Beauty told some more feline fibs because time is just a flat circle and Groundhog Day was a documentary film. Hey y'all, I'm back because just like one of Chantal's shady stories, I'm here whether the internet likes it or not. Foodie Beauty went live from her new mobile studio recently to inform us that Smokey has been rehomed rather than surrendered to the rescue she lied to, so add him to the ever-growing list of Girl World pets with unknown fates, I guess. She also claimed to be spending her first fall in Canada, which means she forgot 38-ish years of her life, or she's somehow trying to reinforce the lies she told the rescue, or she just means it's her first fall since Kuwait Arc and she's lost all ability to make sense.
I have never been in Canada for fall, so this will be a first.
She also declared that she will get more animals, there's nothing anyone can do about it, and she's not sorry. The quotes "report me" and "do your worst" come to mind. It appears Foodie Beauty learned her lesson about taunting the internet as well as she learned her lesson about not impulsively taking in cats. Alright folks, this is All Moved Out, her most recent live stream as of this recording. I skipped over the first half where she ate some nachos in the Smeemobile. It warranted a costume change right there in the car, so that should tell you everything you need to know. And we're going to pick up after that.
Very excited for a new place. Richard, I got a car. Where's my makeup?
She's got her wheelie case and personals in the car there.
Am I living outside the car now? No.
I don't necessarily believe that. I think that's just a dry bag to drum up some more super chats. It's Smee's car. I don't believe she's living in her mother's car and not just crashing at her mother's place. I really think she's just using it to stream from. She's got all her stuff there from moving out of the old new apartment, the new old apartment, whatever you want to call it. Oh, goody, we're getting some red lipstick here too. Awesome. But no, I really think that's just a beg for super chat money from her Beezers. Oh, poor Chantal, she's living in her car. Let me send her a few bucks. Thank you, Teardrop. Thank you.
Hey, Melissa.
Oh, God, how many layers do you need? Good grief, I like lipstick too, but you can save some of the tube for next time. I don't understand how she slathers it on like she does and yet also manages to have the same disgusting tubes for years. Baffling. She must have a horde of them.
No, it's walk upstairs, so next time I get a place, because listen, even if you're in shape, like the stairs when you're trying to move things.
Yeah, see, she did not want to be there. There's stairs. There was no one to go up and down the stairs to get things for her. I can't be here. I gotta go. How do I get out of this? And then I think the doxing happened. I don't know if she's as far-sighted as to get doxed as a way out. I do think there's a possibility she just thought the doxing, like I said in my last video, would just result in some light harassment, but when it started to turn into something more with the landlord, she saw her out and she took it. I really think that is a very possible scenario. I don't think it's completely impossible that she intentionally got herself doxxed to get out of the apartment as a long con, but either way, I don't think it was an unwelcome, because now she's shacked up with mom and she gets to use the car because, oh gosh, what a horrible, stressful scenario. She'll never get back on her feet if she can't live stream. Here, take the car until you can get your own. Just, you can use mine when I'm not using it. And I kind of think that the times that we're not seeing her for long stretches is because mom needs to use the car. We know it's not her car. She said it's not her car. Now, yes, Chantal lies, but it's obviously not her car. It's her mom's car.
You're a trooper. There's so many possibilities. Thank you. Yeah. I'm like thinking, well, there goes my stability, but then I'm thinking, I don't need stability. Maybe I thrive on chaos. Who knows?
You think? What's stability? You were eating fast food on your bed with a cat that you impulsively adopted, that you turned around and started the process of getting rid of 2 days later, less than 2 days later. Stability? You just fled an entire country because you couldn't be bothered to learn the laws around the thing you made your bread and butter. Stability? You think you might thrive on chaos? Oh, God. She's a psychoanalyst now. Look at her go. Therapizing herself. Is that a word? Good Lord, Chantal.
I guess we'll find out. Red is definitely...
We'll find out. We found out. You have found out. Multiple times we have found out.
Afraid of elevators. Yeah, when I lived in an apartment building like years ago, we were on the ground floor because I was like, I'm not taking an elevator. Thanks, Saucy. But then I took an elevator when we lived in Kuwait, because for me, what I'm afraid of elevators is the claustrophobia and feeling confined in a metal box, okay? A manic episode. A manic episode. Thanks, Harper. So, when it's the doors that you can pry open, number one, that helps. I like the two doors, not the one like metal solid.
I can't believe she's wasting the red lipstick on elevator talk.
If there's a phone, an alarm, two doors that close like this, I'm good. Usually. Actually, I used to pray to get stuck in an elevator at work too, because I'm like, one, if something happens to me, I'll just sue them. And two, I get to miss work. But I hated my job then.
I hope this very dangerous thing happens to me so I can sue and not go to work. Wow. Truly, you are the queen of the Beezer Brain Trust. They're like a colony of sea monkeys, y'all. What?
What? They cut them in half. Oh yeah, I heard of that. That's what they say. There's one person y'all would love to be stuck in with. My sweet love. Whenever Juice used to go in the elevator, because Salah would bring her down to come get me in the lobby when I'd come back from beezing or whatever, and she would be in the lobby just looking, and then when she would see me, she'd run over to me, and then I would love to go to Nova Scotia escalator. Then she would run in front of me like with her tail up, and then go in the elevator, and she knew where our door was. It's so cute.
Well, wasn't that just a precious and probably made up story about Julia's Stockholm Syndrome?
Yeah, there's probably not too much going on in the city, which is probably a good thing, I guess. Like, I feel mentally better when I'm, like, completely sober from everything. So I think that's how I have to stay. You know, it's hard because, like this country is full of self-medicine.
She ran out of dispensary money.
I gave the rest away. There's a lot of people I know in my life that would eat them, so.
Sure. She may not be actively under the influence in this exact moment, but I don't believe any of this for a minute. Much like the no live streaming in the house rule set by her mom and stepdad, I think a no gummies in the Smeemobile rule may also be at play here. That definitely seems like the more likely scenario, in my opinion. And the idea of her just giving it away seems very implausible. If you ask me, I don't know. Just my thoughts.
Too anxious. Yeah, same.
I think it's something she may be able to tell herself and even fully believe in the sober moment she's having in the car, the sober moment enforced on her in order to be able to operate the car. But I think once that ends, all bets are off.
I'll do some updates maybe later today, or by tomorrow I'll post some things about Juicy Juice.
If you don't think she's BSing and she's not going to indulge behind the scenes still and in the scenes when she gets a place to do so, well, ask yourself, when has she ever unaided and of her own volition just quit something?
Didn't help with your pain? Oh, yeah, if it doesn't help you, then you can take there's CBD that doesn't have any, like, you know. But yeah, for me, that's it.
She's not going to waste her money on CBD, something that just helps with anxiety and pain and has no psychoactive, high-inducing effects. Absolutely not. I 100% believe she would see that as a waste of money, even though that might actually help her a little bit. I don't know.
It can be used medicinally, probably effectively if it's used right and you're using the right strains and everything like that.
You just haven't tried the right
Will I be
strain,
able to make
man.
camping vlogs? Yeah. I'm just not going to say where we camp.
You are camping on your mother's sofa. I don't know, could be Peetz's, but I think it's Smee's. I fully believe this whole living in the car thing is, like I said, a dry bag and maybe a little bit of a smoke screen to keep the heat off of Smee's house.
Smokey's rehomed and happy, so
Sure, prove it.
whatever. I've
No,
messaged
can't
like a
prove it.
bunch of rescues
Not
for it,
gonna
and none
prove
of
it.
them would take him.
Not talking about it anymore after this. Okay.
The SPCA, you have to fill out a form, then the manager has to review it. It's not. I needed to like rehome him ASAP because I had to be out of there, so I was really worried about that. So I'm just like, maybe if I lie and say that he's.
You couldn't fill out a questionnaire and wait for someone to look at the questionnaire when the rescue was actively discussing the cat with you. Okay. Did you bother to get a time estimate on how long it would take them to review said questionnaire? Was it significantly longer than the time it took you to find a qualified home for Smokey? Because I'm sure you did your due diligence and researched the home he went to make sure it was a good fit, right? That would be the responsible thing to do. So I'm sure that you did that, right? You, Chantal, the individual, were able to do that so much faster than a rescue that is accustomed to taking in animals, often under emergency situations, so much faster than they could do intake on Smokey, right? You made sure that was the case, right? Before you just didn't hand him over to the very qualified organization, right? Okay. Just checking. I'm just checking. I'm just checking, Chantal. I'm just checking.
He was found, because if I don't say that, they're gonna be like, okay, well, the onus is on you to rehome him, and it's like I don't have time. Like, it's urgent.
Yeah, and that's why people take animals to shelters and rescues sometimes instead of rehoming them, because they don't have time, because they're in a pinch because of a moving situation or some kind of change in fortune. Things happen. It's unfortunate, but it's reality, and rescues and shelters understand this. You didn't want to pay any potential fees, because very often that can be the case when you are surrendering an animal, that there is a fee, or they take your name and you end up on a no adoption list. That's another possibility she could be trying to avoid here, because we know she's not going to stop trying to adopt animals. That's unending, apparently. The whole thing is just very unsettling. She gave Smokey to the first person who would take him, if she gave him to anyone at all.
It has to be urgent, but that backfired. So, anyways, they know the whole story now. So
You wanted rid of him that minute. When you say urgent, you mean you didn't want to take the time to answer any questions. You didn't want to end up on a list. You didn't want to pay a fine. Whatever the case may be, you didn't want to deal with all that. You just wanted him gone in that moment, immediately. That's why you lied and said you just found him and you were leaving the country, because you wanted them to bypass their protocol and their questions and just take him that minute. And when that didn't happen and they said, just fill out the questionnaire, we'll take a look at it and then we'll go from there, you were like, no, never mind.
but Smokey's rehomed.
Sure.
Yeah, I can understand why you did.
Why not? We can go with that.
I didn't even think like, oh, maybe they're gonna try to find the owner now. Like, they're gonna. I just thought they would be like, okay.
You just thought they would be like, okay. You thought if you told them you just found him and you had to leave the country like in 5 minutes, that they would just be like, okay. It didn't happen. You didn't get your way instantly, so you toddlered off to go do whatever you did with Smokey, which is probably just give him to some rando, best case scenario.
Yes, he would die on the streets. If he was put on the street, he can't, I don't think he has any survival instincts. He rolls around to get around. Like, he's like, like, no, I would never have him on the street. So, anyways, I mean, I can go anywhere I want. I have my suitcase. I should go to the pyramids. We did want to go there, Salah and I. Leave the country? For sure, Pumpy.
I really hope this doesn't become an excuse to leave the country and get the band back together for Crazy Frog 2.0.
Looks like it's gonna rain. But yeah, going camping. My family has a camper that can sleep like 8 people, so I didn't have much furniture at all. I didn't even have, I had like a bed, and I just got rid of everything. I just gave everything away.
Oh, we're doing that again. So we didn't get the storage unit and do the sensible thing and hang on to the stuff for when you have a new place again. Now you're just going to buy it all from scratch.
Nights in or bust? Ew, I would rather live outside, honestly. A train trip? Yeah, that would be fun.
Did one of these yahoos actually suggest she go on a train trip? Honestly, her beezers are her worst trolls.
The auto feeder is with Smokey, Smokey's new owner. I offered to give the gift back, the money back for it. It was $100. And they said, no, keep it, blah, blah, blah. So I had already ordered it. So I gave it to, I said, take it for him because he needs to lose weight. And she said once he's settled, she'll give me updates. I don't know. But he's been reborn.
Sure.
And the
We'll never hear about that again.
rule is we don't give updates on rehomed pets, remember? You guys made that rule, so sorry. Kiwi Farms is my legal name somewhere. Left my friends use my PayPal. Oh. Yeah, they really have no life. I'm about to fly to be with Salah. They can think what they want. You know, if I wanted to do that with my life, that's my life. I don't know why people are like sitting there with a magnifying glass. Oh, like, where is she gonna go? Like, who cares? It's my life. Yeah, no life madness needs a psychotic assessment for sure. Yeah. Like, there's a few people on the internet. Yeah, quite a few.
All right, let's go. Let's
Coming
go.
okay?
You've got the red lipstick on. Let's not waste it. Let's go. There's some people on the internet. You don't like them. You got some things to say. Let's hear it.
Sorry, Mary. You made that rule. Yep. Sorry you're on the
No?
line. Oh, I'm not sorry. Thank you. I'm actually excited for just traveling around, doing whatever, being free. Not being stuck without anything in a little apartment. No. Eating ravioli, like, who cares? You're free and that's a good feeling. Yep. 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 Yep.
Well, that's pretty much it, folks. We had not really a rager, but more of a rant about Smokey. We had the midstream lull. She started to gear back up for a second full-on rager, and then it just completely fizzled out into nothing. Now, one question that's been bugging me is this. Why does Chantal seem so accepting of her situation after being doxxed and run out of her new apartment? We've had some red lipstick rage moments, but nothing like you'd come to expect from the Foodie Beauty channel after her life has once again been turned upside down after someone with the capacity to actually do something, in this case the landlord, got involved. It's possible she's just decided the best use of her energy is to cut her losses and focus on pressing forward rather than yelling into the internet void. It's also possible that this current upset pales so much in comparison to her recent troubles that it just doesn't warrant a full-on Foodie Beauty rager. This would all be a perfectly reasonable and measured response to the situation, which is why I think it's actually something else. I think on a certain level she wasn't worried about being doxxed, knowing it could add to the plot, the views, be a super chat-worthy dry bag drama circus. The Return to Canada arc was already starting to rival the Kuwait arc for boring and desperately needed an injection of excitement. Meanwhile, I'm sure with the high cost of living her dispensary and drive-through Canadian dream, she desperately needed an injection of income. When the landlord got involved, potentially trying to boot her out of the apartment, I think she saw an easy way out of the Smokey situation and a way to manipulate her dear mother into letting her use the Smeemobile. After all, she needs a place to stream so she can make money to find a new place. Otherwise, she could be in Smee's house forever. Since she can't stream from the family homestead, she just has to borrow the car. Hence the new mobile studio and relatively blasé attitude. I also think she could see this as a way to cockroach back into a roomie situation type deal with living goon stereotype Peetz. He'd love nothing more than to be fully sucked back into her orbit. They're BFFs after all, and that means forever, because just like Chantal, he's socially stuck in middle school. Worst of all possibilities, it could be a bid for Salah's attention or a way to push for some sort of reunion, God forbid. It does look like he's shown back up in her chat lately, though this could very well be Teardrop or some other minion in disguise. Whether it was one of these things or some combination, by the time the docs ran her out or she got booted, whichever may be the case, I believe she already had another venue for the shit show in mind. Somewhere with an obliging Peetz or Smee to take advantage of, or somewhere she could keep better tabs on Home Alone legend. Regardless, I think the main thing is she's oddly calm about the apartment that initially made her as happy as a baked clam, because ultimately she didn't like being there all by her lonesome with no one to send on fetch quests or mind the litter box for Smokey's leavings, and she was perfectly happy to have an excuse to dump the cat and dip. Also THC. That's all I've got for this one. Like and subscribe if this is your kind of thing, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
You watched it, didn't you?